Breaking news. Iran's IRGC threatens strike on Israel's Dimona nuclear facility. Global leaders urgently confer. The red banner flashes across television screens worldwide. In Tel Aviv's bustling center, people freeze. Phones buzz with alerts. Across the globe, diplomats scramble, their faces pale under the sterile lights of situation rooms. The world's attention zeroes in on the Negev desert, home to one of Israel's best-kept secrets, the Dimona nuclear facility. As sirens wail in southern Israel, an uneasy calm descends over Dimona itself. Security forces lock down roads miles from the facility. Outside, journalists jostle for camera angles in the dust, their voices hushed. Deep underground, technicians check systems, knowing what's at stake. In Tehran, crowds gather as IRGC commanders deliver stern warnings on giant screens. The world watches, holding its breath as the clock ticks toward an uncertain tomorrow. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, rarely issues threats lightly. Their recent statement was direct and unmistakable. If Iran's security is compromised, Dimona will not be safe. The warning was bold, aimed at Israel and the world. The United Nations called an emergency session. The US and Russia issued joint appeals for restraint, while China urged all parties to avoid irreversible mistakes. European leaders scrambled for words. The IAEA expressed grave concern over a possible strike on a nuclear site. For Israel, the warning struck a nerve. The Israeli Prime Minister convened his cabinet in a fortified bunker, vowing overwhelming force in response to any attack. Regional tensions soared. Some analysts wondered if this was posturing, or a real prelude to action. Dimona is not just a military asset, it's a symbol. Its destruction would be catastrophic, not just for Israel, but for the entire region. Nuclear facilities are no longer untouchable. The Dimona nuclear facility sits in the heart of the Negev desert, behind layers of fences, sand, and secrecy. Officially, Dimona is a research reactor. Unofficially, most experts believe it's the cornerstone of Israel's nuclear weapons program. Few outsiders have ever seen inside its walls. Built in the late 1950s with French help, Dimona's true purpose was a closely held secret for years. Even today, questions about what happens inside are met with silence. Satellite images show cooling towers and security perimeters, but little else. Dimona is not just a building, it's a symbol of Israeli deterrence. Its very existence deters potential attackers. But secrecy brings danger. A strike could mean radioactive leaks, environmental disaster, and escalation to war. Now, with the IRGC's warning, Dimona's secrecy and security are being tested as never before. The rivalry between Iran and Israel is as old as the modern Middle East itself. The roots of this hostility stretch back to the Iranian Revolution of 1979. Before that, relations were surprisingly warm, but the rise of Iran's Islamic Republic changed everything. Since then, the two nations have waged a shadow war across the region. They use proxies and covert operations. Iran supports groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. Israel has carried out airstrikes in Syria and, reportedly, cyber attacks inside Iran. The Stuxnet computer virus attack on Iranian nuclear facilities was a turning point. Threats are traded regularly. Each side sees the other as an existential threat. This simmering conflict rarely makes headlines, until moments like now, when it threatens to boil over. The IRGC's latest warning comes at a time of heightened tension, with both sides feeling cornered. Behind the bluster are real risks and real fears. Today's wars are not fought with tanks and trenches alone. Drones buzz over battlefields and missiles fly farther than ever before. Cyber attacks can cripple critical systems without a single shot. Iran's missile arsenal is among the most advanced in the region. The IRGC's arsenal includes precision-guided rockets and long-range drones capable of reaching deep into Israel. Israeli defenses, like the Iron Dome and David's Sling, are state-of-the-art, but no system is perfect. A determined, well-coordinated attack could get through. Cyber warfare adds another layer of risk. Both Iran and Israel have launched cyber attacks on each other's critical infrastructure. A successful hack against Dimona's control systems could be devastating. The threat is constant, evolving, and hard to predict. In the technological age, even the most secure sites are vulnerable. Dimona's fate may rest on a split-second decision, a single line of code, or a missile no one sees coming. The crisis over Dimona has drawn in the world's major powers. The United States is Israel's closest ally, with intelligence agencies monitoring every signal in the region. US warships patrol the Mediterranean, ready to act if Israel is attacked. President's advisors debate how far to go, direct support or urge caution. Russia, meanwhile, has deep ties to Iran and strategic interests in the Middle East. Moscow calls for dialogue but quietly moves military assets closer to the region. Their diplomats shuttle between Tehran and Tel Aviv seeking to lower the temperature. China urges restraint, worried most about its energy supplies. Global alliances are tested, old rivalries resurface. Superpower involvement makes the situation even more complex. A single miscalculation could escalate the conflict beyond the region. The risk of a broader war, with nuclear sites in the crosshairs, chills even the most seasoned negotiators. What happens at Dimona won't stay in Israel. The world could pay the price. As headlines scream about the Dimona crisis, global markets shudder, oil prices spike overnight. The Strait of Hormuz, the world's most important oil choke point, sits just off Iran's coast. Any hint of conflict there sends shockwaves through energy markets. Tankers reroute. Insurance premiums soar. Stock traders in New York, London, and Shanghai watch every headline and rumor. A strike on Dimona, or a broader war, would disrupt global trade far beyond the Middle East. Energy importing nations brace for shortages and price hikes. Airlines calculate new flight paths to avoid conflict zones. Economists warn that a prolonged crisis could trigger a global recession. The Middle East is a crossroads for global shipping and commerce. Ordinary consumers see prices rise at the pump and supermarket. The stakes for the global economy could not be higher. Behind the headlines, a shadow war rages. Intelligence agencies from Israel, Iran, the US, Russia, and Europe are in overdrive. Satellites peer down on Dimona and missile bases in Iran. Cyber units probe for weak spots. Agents on the ground send coded updates to their handlers. Disinformation is a weapon. Fake videos and forged documents circulate on social media. Governments try to control the narrative, but leaks happen. Security services work around the clock to prevent sabotage, both physical and digital. Israel increases surveillance around Dimona. Iran tightens security at its own nuclear sites. The risk of miscalculation is everywhere. A false alarm or misinterpreted signal could trigger disaster. In this world of secrets, the truth is often the first casualty. Staying ahead of the threat is a never-ending race with the highest possible stakes. As leaders posture and armies prepare, ordinary people bear the brunt of fear. In Dimona, families stock up on food and water. School children practice emergency drills. Elderly residents remember past wars and pray this time will be different. Tension fills every conversation. In Tehran, life is equally tense. Parents worry about the future. Young people debate whether to stay, leave, or protest. Some welcome the IRGC's defiance. Others fear the cost. Social media buzzes with rumors. Most grim. People wonder if they will wake to news of war or peace. Communities support each other, sharing supplies and information. In both countries, there's a silent wish for leaders to choose dialogue over destruction. As the world wonders what comes next, these everyday lives hang in the balance. No one knows how this crisis will end. Some talk of secret negotiations through neutral channels. The United Nations proposes new talks on nuclear security. European mediators shuttle between capitals, hoping to cool tempers. The US and Russia, so often rivals, find common ground in preventing disaster. Diplomacy is fragile. One wrong move could shatter hopes for peace. But leaders know the alternative. Open conflict over a nuclear facility would be catastrophic. There are calls for new arms control agreements, inspections, and guarantees. The choices made in the coming days will shape not just the Middle East, but the global order. The world holds its breath, hoping for peace in the shadow of Dimona.